Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021, and I'm here for my weekly cross-stitching update. I was unable to film yesterday because I was at the beach. I posted a picture yesterday evening of a picture of me, of my stitching at the beach. So if anyone is on Instagram, maybe you saw that. So yeah, I couldn't film yesterday, but I'm here now. I'm in the midst of a big group of family activities. So starting at the end of this past week all the way through next week, lots of activities. So I won't be able to film next Monday or Tuesday. So I will share with you what I've been working on this past week as well as plans for the next 2 weeks because I won't be able to come back next week. So buckle up. I guess not really any recent stash acquisitions, but I do have something for you which I'll share during plans. So first off, I think I'll start with my travel stitching. I did get another letter done on my temperature typography. It's one of my temperature patterns in my Etsy shop, and this is the most recent one. I'm hoping after all this family stuff blows over, I'll be able to get in and sort out the technical kinks on my newest pattern that's in the works and get that released later this summer. And I have another one I'd like to get out this fall if I can figure it out. Temperature patterns can sometimes be very mathematically difficult to get just the right number of components together to work with the months and the days. And I know it doesn't have to be exact, but with the way my mind works, I like it to be that way. So, which is kind of what started this whole temperature pattern phenomenon in the first place, which some of you who are newer subscribers may not know. It was back in 2016 or 17, I think. There was a temperature flower design that had flowers in a circle, and I started it with just a flower or two, or maybe even a petal or two, I'm not sure. And I got to kind of looking at it and figuring out the specifics of it and realized it's not exact as far as it did not have 365 petals. It had some extra petals. It had no distinction of months, and so I didn't really know, you wouldn't really know what was what. I mean, it would be a pretty pattern probably, but there was just enough in it that was, and the petals were a little bit too big for a daily stitch piece. And so I decided, you know what, I'll figure out my own. And that's how I created the temperature garden, where I had each little plot of ground with enough petals for that exact month. And then from there, I just kind of kept making more because everybody liked the garden. So I'm more of a geek than a designer. So having these temperature patterns where I have to figure out the logistics and the math to make it work together in a pleasing, logical fashion, that's kind of my thing. So I'm working on that with this other idea since last year even, and hopefully I can get it to work out. So all that to say, here is where my temperature typography is now. I'm doing this 1/1 full crosses on a mystery 28 count pale blue even weave. I got the U in. It went from, I think, high 60s, maybe low 70s, I can't remember what that is, all the way into the 90s. 70s, yeah. So 70s, and then like 180s, and then some 90s. The L, like this is June, so the N is going to be very, very hot, although I don't think we actually got up to the top temperature. My temperature on the hot range is 110 or more, and I don't think we got up there. I haven't recorded the temperatures. I usually go in and record them all when I have a whole letter's worth to record, and I can do that tomorrow. And so for the next letter, but I have there were supposed to be 2 back-to-back days of 109, and I was thinking, well, maybe one of them will be just a little bit higher. I'll get that biggest color on my temperature range, but it ended up being lower. I think it was like 106, and then it kind of was petering out a little bit. Like it was a few in the hundreds, some in the 90s, so it really wasn't as extreme as it was predicted to be, which is good for living in. But maybe later in July or August, we'll get some of the hot colors, just so I can have them represented on my design at some point. That's always nice. The other travel piece I've been working on off and on, and not as much as when I am able to stitch while I wait for the kids after school. So now that it's summer, I have to wait. I mean, I have less stitching time available for travel stitching, but this is my flea market flowers by the Fat Quarter Shop. They're currently doing a stitch along with this pattern in chunks. I am very far behind. I think they're maybe gearing up to finish this one tomorrow. This number 4, section 4. I just finished number 1. I'm starting in on number 2. So I'll keep plugging away at this one until the end of the stitch along, which is the first week in July, I think. And then I'll work on the last Prim Stitch series, and then I'll come back to this to as travel stitching until it's done. And I also have the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Cozy Cafe Club should come out later this week as well. So I'll probably throw that in there somewhere as well, because I don't want to be behind on that one either. So at some point, all the things are going to get some attention. So we'll see how it all works out. This is on, I guess I'm all the way over now. It's on 25 count barley, vintage cloth, which is the called for fabric by the Fat Quarter Shop. And I'm doing mine 1/1 with the called for DMCs. And it's very pretty. I like the sunshiny colors. They're very cheerful. There's a few colors I haven't used yet, but they'll come in eventually. So while I was at the beach yesterday, I worked on borders, and I have a little bit of this shenanigans happening because I was finishing strings from these leaves. And then last night we were watching some Simpsons together with my husband and oldest son, and I got those leaves started while we were watching shows. So there's a tiny bit of shows that I can cross stitch during, which also counts as travel stitching, but not too many. Most shows I like to actually watch and pay attention to, so I don't usually stitch while I watch TV, but every little bit I have something I can stitch while it's happening. So that's happening here and there and everywhere. So now it's been to the beach. I'll keep plugging away on that as I have opportunity. And then yesterday I realized was Monday, even though I didn't film, it didn't feel like a Monday. So I was able to work on my Mill Hill Monday piece for a second time since I've seen you last. So this is the one I'm working on now. It's called Hummingbird Buttons and Beads Kit. And last time I had stitched 3 lengths of thread. In the first color, I'm picking symbols from top to bottom, left to right. And so I did like a dark turquoise color, 3 lengths of thread of that, and that's all you've seen so far. And so last Monday I did 3 more lengths of thread, which finished out dark turquoise and started blue. And then today, or yesterday, I did 3 more lengths of thread, which finished the blue and started one of the light greens. So if I have time each Monday, that seems like a nice amount to stitch, to do 3 lengths of floss, which when doubled over with 14 count doesn't get that many stitches. So it seems like a nice amount to work on for my bonus piece. So this is where it's at now. Still, you can't see a whole lot, but it is coming together. This is on called for, everything that came in the kit, perforated paper and DMC threads. So this like dark turquoise is done now, and the darker blue is done now, and then I started 1 length of thread of this green that's in some of the leaves, and even I think in a little bit in the hummingbird too. So what I'm doing is I'll pick a symbol left to right, top to bottom, but then I'll color complete that. Since this is such a small design, I'll just pick the next symbol color completed everywhere it occurs, and then go along to pick the next one. So yeah, the whatever's here will be my next symbol, but I'll wait on that until I finish this color. So whenever I finish this color in the entire piece, I'll go and pick that color and then do that in the entire piece. So that's kind of how I'm working this particular one. I didn't do the butterfly that way, but I did color complete the butterfly, but I started in the middle. So doing it a little differently, but it's been fun. So I'll continue with that. So before I see you next, I might get probably 2 more opportunities to work on it before I see you next. No, maybe just 1. Because yeah, we just finished this one. So assuming I can film in 2 weeks on a Monday, you will only see 1 week's progress on that, but you just now saw 2 weeks progress. So that's always fun. It was a fun realization yesterday when I was thinking about, oh yeah, I gotta pull out my waterfall piece and do that first. And then I realized, oh, it's Monday. I get to work on my mill hill. So it is fun to have my mill hill Monday, kind of break up the daily stitching on this piece, which I do every day, 65 stitches at least on this piece every day. And it's fun to, once a week, get a break. And it has been enjoyable to work on this. But it's fun to have the mill hill kind of be a little bonus there once a week. So this one has seen, I've been faithful all week, except for those Mondays I did mill hills. I've been working on this one for at least 65 stitches. And I don't remember, yeah, I think I usually do this way. So this is where it's at now, and I did only in the sky this time. So there's hopefully a noticeable chunk completed in the sky. This is 18 count Ada, I think antique white, 2 strands. And I'll show you a little more close up of where I was working. I did some of this darker blue blend and then the lighter blue blend, and then I did some white, and now I'm doing a white and 3865 blend in there as well. So there's 2 whites right here. The whites are the worst. There's large patches of all of these colors, but the blues, I don't really mind the large patches because they're just pretty colors, but the whites, they're just kind of boring. So I just kind of do it, but it's nice to know that when I get to 65, I'll finish the set of stitches that I'm on and I get to stop, you know, so it is a nice, it's nice to have that short, small goal to finish and move on, knowing that I'll keep working on it the next day. And it's just kind of a little, I know it's going to get done, so I don't have to worry about stressing about it. And I know there's a light at the end of the tunnel each day that isn't going to take that long to get to, and then I can move on to something else. So if I'm stuck in the white, in a white cloud, then I know, okay, I'm almost done. I can do this. Whereas the blues, it's not that bad. I really kind of enjoy working on it when I'm in the blues, but right now I'm in the white. So I'll keep plugging away on that as I can every day. I know some days I might not get to it, but I like to get to it every day if I can. So let's see. Somebody asked me what this brand was. I received this as a gift from Ann P of Fiber, Floss, and Fiction, and so I don't know where she found it, but it's called, I don't know if you can focus that a little bit, Ardium Flowery Journal, and by Life Begins Moment. So I don't know where she found it. Could have just been at like a gift shop or something, but if you're interested, that's where I got it. I got it from Ann. So it has the main things, it has like a month, all the months thing, and at first I put down some of my Full Coverage Fanatics challenges, but I'm not really following that much. This is where I record my daily stitches, so I can tally it up pretty easily. Although I record them on they have day, a week at a glance things, and so I put them here, and then usually at the end of the month I'll go and record them all on that master sheet. And they also have the month spreads where I have my daily, where I just kind of glance and see, oh, what am I working on today? And then as I work on it, then I'll record it in more detail on these weekly ones to say how many stitches did I do, what section did I work on, that kind of thing. So far it's been working. What I've used before this is just a little planner from the 99-cent store that has only the month grids on it, and it's usually a 2-year calendar, and I like that also. So this has been kind of fun to have more room for detail every day. So I'll have to decide later how I want to move forward next year, if I want to get something else that has both days and months, or if I want to go back to just the month planner. So we'll see. But I thought I would share that since I had a question about that. So what I worked on this week, my small project that I started on Monday was, so I'll get it out of here, Leaning Tower of Macarons by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and I'm doing this for my daughter. It's a surprise. I will most likely give it to her for her birthday in December, so I decided to shift it a little bit. So I'm shifting these guys over 4 stitches, these two, so they'll line up better. I think this one and this one, I think, are the farthest over it'll be. They'll still be offset, but they won't be so leaning. And then I'm going to shrink the plate as well to line up with the widest portions of the macaroons so that they'll be more bookmarky in shape. So here is where I got to on 2 days. So fun! Some brown perforated paper. I got it at 123 Stitch, but I think you can also find some perforated paper at Hobby Lobby and maybe some other stores. I'm skipping the eyes and mouths for now because I'll figure I'll do them all at the same time. There's 3 shades of color in each macaroon and they go so fast. So I actually did a tiny bit of this on the 3rd day just because I had a string I wanted to finish up. It's too small to really keep my needle minder on this, so I put the needle minder on my pattern. You can see the needle sticking out there. So I went ahead and just finished the string on the 3rd day just so that when I store it, it won't be, they'll be separate. Because if I had the needle threaded still attached to this and it's separate from this, it'd be hard to like pull them out and I might unthread my needle on accident and whatever. So I just finished the string. So this is like 2 days in a little bit. But I was surprised at how quickly it came together and it's really fun. I think she'll like it. So next time, give this 2 days, maybe 3. Or even if I just give it 1 day I don't think I'm doing much. July I'm doing 1 family piece, August I'm doing 1 family piece, and then I think I'll go back to doing all of them every month in September. So September and October and November, even if I only get 1 day each on all of those, I'm sure I'll get it done because it's going pretty quick to be able to give it to her in December. So that was fun. I really enjoyed working on that. Perforated paper is easy to work on, and I found myself wanting to pick it up even when I didn't, even when I might normally wait to stitch to do something else. So that's always a good sign. It means I'm having fun. So after that, I worked on my Celtic Ladies from Lavender and Lace, the collage that I put together. It's a mashup of all of them, and I'd like to work a little bit, at least in each season as it comes around. So since we're starting summer now, I had started up in spring. I want to get down to summer. So I ended up working mostly in spring just because I wanted to get down to summer in a way that was counted properly. I stitched down this and did some of this, but I counted very, very specifically with pins even, but I was still hesitant to get started on summer in case I had done something wrong. So I went ahead and worked on this, did this line over here, and then worked down the medallions because this color was also in the medallions. The medallions have a lot of beads as well and petite treasure braid, but there is some DMC in there. So I ended up working down the medallions, and I don't remember exactly what I've done in here, but I did get to some of the summer. So goal met. It looks cool. There's a lot more to see now than there was before. So here is my Celtic Ladies collage now. I'm not going to be able to use this folder much longer, but I think I can go ahead and use it today. Because this is Witchelt 32 count lamb's wool linen, so it is fairly see-through. So yeah, so I got the green in their hair finished, and this is a little bit of her dress that was the same color as the border. So I worked down here and it kept going till my string ran out. Then I came over here, did some of the flowers, the greenery in her hair flowers, then kept going and did these bits of the medallion. These carried threads through here will be stitched over later, so I'm not worried about that. And then I came down here and did some of this stuff as well as her green. So I did get started in summer a little bit. So yay! I like how that is turning out. I'm hoping to pull that out again in the fall and kind of work over to the autumn section. And then in the winter, do the same to go over to the winter section. And then every year I can do a little bit in each season, at least once a season in that particular season. And I think that'll be fun. So, and then I had a new start. Yay! And this was fun. I really enjoyed working on this one. Again, I did a tiny bit past my allotted 3 days just to finish a string. Yesterday I was supposed to work on a new small project, but I didn't have a lot of stitching time, and so I worked on my Mill Hill kit and just went ahead, and I was considering only doing 1 or 2 links of thread on my Hummingbird Mill Hill, and then tackling my new small design that I had chosen for yesterday and today. But I decided instead to get a full 3 links of thread done on my Mill Hill kit, and then finish the string that I had hanging on this one from the weekend, and then call it good. And I ran out of stitching time, so I didn't get to work on my other piece, but since you haven't seen the before, it'll actually make it easier to edit the videos, because I can show you my before today, and then I'll get one day on it, and that's okay. So here's what I started on Friday and worked on it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I got 3 days on it. Friday I had very few stitches. Friday I only had 56 stitches. So I worked a little bit on the afternoon, and then I had a family event that went late at night and didn't get any more stitching time that day. But Saturday I got a decent amount. I had 408 stitches, and they were all in the background, so that kind of makes sense, but that was awesome. And then the next day, Sunday, I got 335, followed up with another 35 on Monday just to finish my string. So I decided to be a good girl and stay in the background to try to get it fleshed out a little bit more, but I'm very close to some of these bows up here, so it won't be very long before I will start to see some of those come together, because they're either in the first row or the second row of symbols. They're that close to the top, so that's very exciting. If I stick to a very strict, you know, left to right, top to bottom symbol choice shenanigans, I'll get to her hat pretty quickly, which is really fun. I did choose to do more than 1 length of thread on some of the colors, because I noticed some of these darker colors ended right here. They didn't go any farther. And so I figured I'll just keep going until they end and finish up this whole area with that color that I had started. And so I have some colors that are pretty much the top 2 or 3 rows, they're finished. Because then as I go forward, then the background will be that closer to being filled in. So it's just easy to keep that color out and do a little bit more. And I'm happy with that choice. So where is this one? Here it is. This is also on 25 count barley, which is like the flea market flowers. This is 1/1, and I really wanted to do another 1/1 full cross on 25 count because I really liked how it worked on Quick Stitch Iris. So now I have another 25 count 1/1 full coverage piece, and I really am happy with that. So that's how far I got. So this is about halfway through the design on top. I guess if it's like that, it'll probably go to about here. So yeah, you can already see the shape of some of these bows up here at the top. So very exciting. I think I have like 4 colors in there so far. There's a couple dark greens and dark brown. There's some black in the middle here, so it's a little darker patch. It's kind of hard to see. There you can maybe see some of the shading in that corner. There's a few other colors there, but yeah, so that was fun. I really enjoyed working on that. Got a nice little start. So I think that'll be fun. Having most of my full coverages are classified as large pieces. So they will usually fall on a weekend with my new rotation plan with 3 days. And that's nice to be able to give things a bigger chunk of time for those ones that have a lot of stitches. So it's very helpful. All right, I think that's everything that I've worked on. So now I can go into plans. Starting today, I decided to work on, oh, I forgot to bring my pattern, but I have another one here. So I'm going to work on Daisy Girl, which is my small that I chose to do for this week because I have this copy. This is not my copy. This is a copy that I received from a viewer, and she found it at a thrift store, I think, or on eBay or something for a very reasonable price, and she knew I was working on it. It's kind of a rare chart. It's a leisure arts chart of this little girl carrying some daisies in a field, and so I knew I needed to work on it because I want to do a giveaway of this chart. And so I will work on it today and show you my progress when I come back in 2 weeks, and I will also give this away in 2 weeks. So if you want a copy of this to either stitch along with me or just stitch it at your leisure, please use the word Daisy in your comment, and I'll pull a winner next week, in 2 weeks, when I come back and show my progress. So I started this probably over 20 years ago, so it is an old chart. I started on 32 count, MCG textiles, linen in a gray of some kind. I can't remember, dove gray? No, not dove gray. Something gray. So here's my start. And I liked the color gray. I think it was the only gray I could find at the time because I used to just buy what was in the craft stores. And MCG textiles used to be readily available in the craft stores. I believe they're not making things anymore. But the pattern called for 28 count, and I have 32 count. However, I was still doing 3 strands because I think some of them are blends with 2 strands of one color and 1 strand of another color. So I think that's why I kept with 3 strands. But 3 strands on 32 count is very thick. And so that's probably why it has lingered for 20 to 25 years in my stash. But I do like it, it's cute. And when I worked on this in the past couple years, I managed to finish her face, which was giving me a lot of trouble because there's, the way it's charted is hard. They have quarter stitches and 3/4 stitches that are charted in different colors. So if, for example, there's this lightest peach in her cheek is charted with a peach block with dots, for example, because it's a color pattern. There will be a quarter stitch that is also peach with blue dot or with dots. So you know that, oh yeah, your eye says, yes, this is the same DMC color. Stitch the quarter stitches while I stitch the full crosses. You get completely done, you tie off your thread, you put it all away, and then you realize there was this bright blue with pink stripes that was also that same light peach color in a 3/4 stitch. And you're just like, ah, really? So that was the thing. The 3/4 stitch symbols are nowhere near the same color as the full cross and quarter stitch symbols. So then it was really tricky to figure out what you were doing. But I finally finished that section. So I think everything else will be a little bit more straightforward. And I think I did, there might have been some of those down here in her hand too. So all of that's done. Now I can work on her hat and start in on like the greenery on the side. I'm going to try to work from the top down. I don't have a big margin. This is like 1.5 inches up here. But that's how I roll, especially back in the day when I was just making do. And I stitch in hand, so I don't need anything to attached to a frame or anything. So I will give that some time today. So most likely I will work in her hair under this lace cap that she's wearing. I can come over here and work on this as well, but since just one day, I'll probably just stick with her head for now. So that's what you can expect. So I'll have to go pull my my copy of this out of the closet. I forgot to grab that before the video, but this is going to be one of your copies. So definitely use the word Daisy in the comments in some way if you want to be entered to win this. I believe I could do this anywhere in the world because it is paper. It shouldn't be too outrageous to ship it elsewhere outside of the US. So, but yeah, just to be forewarned, there are a few blends, there are some fractional stitches. So if that is not something you're interested in, you maybe want to pass on this. But if you like that sort of thing, or you want to be challenged, come along for the ride. So thank you, Carla, for donating this for a giveaway for everybody. And I'm excited to pass that along to somebody else who wants to stitch that. So I will give that a day today, and then I'm going to move on to my 2 medium-size family pieces. So I'm going to work on Knitting Woman first for just one day. I'm going to put in my medium slot of 2 days, I'm going to put 2 family pieces, one day on each. So here's Knitting Woman, which you've seen many times if you've been watching me for a while. I will be giving this to my mom whenever it's done. She knows I'm working on it, and I show it to her every once in a while, but she also knows it's going to take a while. But I am like right here, fully done. So I'm not quite halfway, but making progress. So let's see. This is on 22 count Aida with 2/1 half stitches. It is somewhat light coverage, so I wouldn't do it again, but I am continuing with it, and I'm enjoying it when I pull it out. So this is where I'm at now. I've decided to do the top down, left to right symbol picking, and then I complete at least one string of that color and then move on to the next symbol. So that's why you can see some scattered here, because sometimes the string just has enough thread and only a couple stitches where I started it, so I just keep working it till it runs out, which may end up being the whole piece. I think that this is very close to the edge of the design down here. So we've got the start of the kitty. I'll probably do some more up here in the arm and hands area, just because that's still the unfinished part, is like right there. And pick some of those colors to work in. So that's my starting point. I actually have some peach color on my thread already, so I will start with that one and take it from there. And then Dragon Ride is going to come out, and I realized I forgot to put a picture up of the finish. I forgot to get my pattern for this one. So, oops. I have a string on this one too. Here is this one. This is on MCG Textiles. Light blue even weave that you used to be able to find at Hobby Lobby. They have light blue even weave still there, but it's a Zweigart fabric and it's a little bit lighter color. But yeah, this is where I'm starting from. I have some of, let's see, one of these colors, the purpley colors. I have some of that on my needle right now. It's getting in my way. So I'll do at least some of that. I'm not sure what else I'll do. So I'll work on that on Thursday. And again, with any of these, progress is subject to availability. I will have various activities going off and on, and I don't know how much I'll get done on any of these, but this is the plan, to do what I can if I get time. So it won't be, my normal schedule probably won't happen much, but I will get to them if I have opportunity. So, and then on Friday, this is my Cozy Cafe Club by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and this is their year-long mystery stitch along, and it's parts 1 through 3, and Friday is part 4. I think if I have a note that says where that one's going to be. Okay, according to the paper I have in here, clue 4 will be here. So we can look forward to seeing that, and I will try to pull it out sometimes. So we'll see how much I'll be able to get done on that. Oh, it's in here. Ah! Lost a floss. Here is where I am now. This is on 25 count vintage cloth in the color Prim, which is the fabric I'm doing the Prim Stitch series on. And this is parts 1 through 3. I'm doing this 1/1 full crosses, so it is cute and tiny. I changed this to cocoa instead of mocha, but all of the cups are in the called for colors, and I'm doing the borders in fancy floss from my stash. So there's a slight personalization, but mostly as called for. And they take a little bit longer to stitch than you think. Okay, I went to fetch a floss that fell, and then the gardeners came. So I may be pausing on and off as they get too close, and hopefully I can finish this. So on Friday, I hope to start Mini Butterfly Rose Cross. So originally I thought I would do the background on this, but I have since found a nice pretty fabric that I bought from the hand dyeing duo on Instagram, the Daughters of Georgia Stitcher, here on Flosstube. And I was thinking about it and I thought, I wonder if that would fit, and it does. So this is a beautiful tealy blue color, so it's warmer than the color in the picture, but I think I'm going to enjoy putting this on here. I'm taking the background out myself. They do have a no background version available on the website on Heaven and Earth Designs, but since I already had it, I'm just going to go through it on Pattern Keeper and mark off the background colored stitches and myself and do it that way. So I realized just now that I'm not quite ready. I don't have all the background marked off yet, so I'll hopefully try to get that done before Friday. But I'll do this 1/1 on this 28 count even weave, so that'll be fun. So I'll start, most likely I will try to start at the top. With these sticks. So maybe, hopefully by the next time I see you, I'll have a few colors in the sticks. So that'll be fun. I'm not sure how much time I'll get on that again, but it'll be fun to have it started. And so going into, also on Saturday, the Tour de France starts. And so Full Coverage Fanatics has an event where you stitch along with the kilometers that the bike that they ride every day. And so I will be using my daily stitching on the waterfall and Yosemite piece to go with that challenge. So that's all I'm doing there, nothing extra. I'm just gonna go for the green sprinter's jersey, the smallest amount of kilometers you can work for, because it's about the same amount as my daily stitching will be anyways. So I think it'll work really nice to just do that. And then going forward into the following week, I'm gonna work on my small piece for next week will be Purple Pansy by Carolyn Manning Designs. And I picked this one because it went pretty fast the first time I worked on it. And so I don't want it to linger too long in my WIP pile. I feel like it's more of an experimental piece, and I don't think it needs to be there for a long time. So I want to get it done and give it a little bit of extra attention, especially here in the summer when it's flower season. It'd be nice to get more progress and maybe see it finished this year. Okay, so here's where Purple Pansy is now, and you will notice it is no longer purple. This is the original, and they have purple flat flosses. They use some sulkies. So I had a sulky pack already that has a lot of sulky blendables, and so I decided to just use these colors. This is like a mix of primaries. It wasn't actually mostly green, so I am choosing to use one fancy floss, which is Mistletoe by Color and Cotton, as my green, and all the rest is sulky. One strand of sulky or fancy floss on this 18 count light blue Ada, and it's basically colorful black work. It's all back stitching. So we'll see how far I can get on this in a couple days. I'll work around with these greens first and then kind of fill in the whatever's outside of it. So that'll be fun to get a little bit more done on that, because I do want to kind of chip away at this one and get it done sooner than later. I don't feel like it needs to be a lingering project. And then my medium project for next week is going to be Cherry Kitten. Haven't worked on this recently, so I thought it would be a nice one. This is from Artisy, and I'm choosing the no background version. So the original design has a bunch of blue sky and puffy clouds behind the kitten. But I was gifted a piece of Pole Stitches fabric in the color Cosmos. I was gifted a piece of this, which is really pretty. Pinks and purples and whites to look, I think it looks like clouds. So I decided to do this on this fabric, and it's 1/1 full crosses. This is 28 count Jobelin, and so you'll see this color in the background behind the kitty and the butterflies, or the cherries. There's one butterfly and there's some cherries. So this is my starting point on this, and I was doing just whatever I felt like, and then recently I decided to do the top-down symbol picking that I have decided I really like. So you can see the top of this ear is fully filled in. So I'll continue with that and fill in more. And as I pick a symbol, I'll do it wherever it occurs. Most likely just kitty at this point. It looks like the cherries will be starting soonish, but not for a little while. So mostly kitty just for now. So that'll be fun. I'll give that a couple days. It's a tiny little piece of fabric, but it is technically a medium piece because I'm doing it 1/1. Looks can be deceiving. So that's a cute one that I'll do for my medium choice. And then my large choice, I was just thinking while I was waiting for the gardeners to leave, twiddling my thumbs in here, that I might want to pull out. Okay, I didn't bring the actual whip with me because I wasn't planning to work on this, but I was waiting for the gardeners and looking at my calendar and just thinking, and I thought maybe this would be fun to pull out at the first day of my large rotation. It's actually a small piece, but if I give this one day on my son's birthday, the son this will be for, I think that would be fun. I think he would enjoy that. So I might pull this out for one day and then go to my large piece, which will be Lady of the Flag, because it spans the 4th of July. So I was not prepared today, apparently. So I don't have the cover photo, but you most likely have seen this around. I'll show you what I have started. So here's my starting point on Lady of the Flag, and this is on 32 count I think Stony Point linen by Whitchild. It might be discontinued. I could be wrong about that. I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong, but I will likely just be working in the flag because I've finished her head and all these stars last time. I finished her torch before. So yeah, I'll probably work just here in the blues and maybe some reds. We'll see how things go, but I'll give that a couple days and enjoy that for the 4th of July. And I'll probably also pull this out around September 11th because that's what it was originally charted for, in honor of the people who lost their lives in that event. So that's kind of that. And again, I don't know what my progress will look like, but I will do what I can and have fun with whatever I get to work on and however much time I get on it. So we'll have to wait and see what things look like next time. But I will be back, Lord willing, in 2 weeks with an update on what I did this past 2 weeks, and as well as give away the Daisy Girl chart. So remember to put your comment, please be 18, So you can give me your address. Do not use the word giveaway. Do not use the word win or free or any of that. I'll have to delete your comment because I want to make sure it goes to one of you cross-stitchers. And with that, I think I will sign off and get back to work. So have fun stitching whatever you're working on the rest of the month, and happy stitching. Bye.